So I was on my way making a video about Duran Duran, and that video was coming, so stay tuned. And I follow a bunch of DJs on TikTok. Shout out to the DJs for putting in that work. And it was a lovely lady, and she was playing "Oh Sheila" by Ready for the World. I was like, oh, I went full Kanye. Duran Duran, I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta make this video about "Oh Sheila." Man, Ready for the World is one of the most underrated R&B bands of the 80s. There's a point between Michael Jackson's Thriller and Prince's Purple Rain. From that point, right before New Jack Swing, where there was a group of artists that came through and they were just dominating and they were great. This is where we get like Climax. This is where we get Full Force. And this is where we get Ready for the World. Those folks kind of dominate for like a 2-3 year period. Let me talk about RFTW. So let's go back to Prince. So we have 1999 by Prince, the double album, one of the most amazing albums ever. Go, if you haven't listened to it in a long time, please do. And then he drops Purple Rain. And it's funny with Purple Rain because when I was in school, I was a little guy then, and because When Doves Cry was out like weeks before the movie came out, and we were about to go out, it was before summer break. And I was like, oh my God, we can't wait for Purple Rain because we didn't know what it was going to be. We watched the video, and the video was like, oh my God, it's going to be the best film ever. And it really was really good, right? So Purple Rain happens. The Minneapolis sound was already there, just really kicked into high gear. And then 1985 happens because Sheila E. would have Glamorous Life and all that stuff. And then you turn on the radio and you hear this. I was like, oh, that sounds like Prince from 1990. That's like 1999 Prince. That's like Prince's beats from 1999. And then you hear the keys. And then this dude says, what's good for the goose is always good for the gander. Oh, Sheila. It's like, wait, who's this British guy? That's because we didn't see the video yet. I didn't see the video yet, right? And then you see the video, it's like, oh, there's a bunch of the black dudes. Are they British? Wait, this dude sounds British. They sing like they're American, but they have Prince's sound. Who are they? So immediately you feel like, oh, well, Prince produced these guys because Prince was producing everybody. At the time, he had Vanity 6, he had Apollonia 6, Maserati, like he was the family, like Prince was producing everybody. So at first you figured, oh, Prince is producing these dudes. No. Okay, well, this song gotta be about Sheila E. Sheila E gotta be part of it. No. Well, these guys clearly from Minneapolis. Well, if Prince isn't involved, it gotta be Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, right? Or even Jesse Johnson. No. These brothers were from Flint, Michigan. Flint! Not Minneapolis. Flint. And Melvin Riley, the lead singer, was not even British. And because back then there was no black Brits. This is way before Idris Elba. There was no Idris Elbas back then. Man, this is before Idris Elba sounded like he was from Baltimore. Yo, I'm from Baltimore, It's like, hello, my name is Idris Elba. This is before that. This is Melvin Riley, for some reason, talking in an English accent. It's good for the goose. It's always good for the gander. Oh, Sheila. I still don't know why he did that, but it was fun. Nah, these brothers from Flint. Speaking of Flint, we haven't heard about the Flint water crisis in a long. I know it's been a long time ago since that happened. If you are from Flint, let us know how the water is. I know it's been a lot of years, and the media doesn't care about y'all anymore. Tell us how the water is. If there's still problems out there, please leave comments below. If we can help, please let us know. So shout out to my people in Flint. So yeah, so this happens. It's like, wait a minute, they have nothing to do with Minneapolis. They have nothing to do with Prince, and they're from Flint, Michigan. Who are these guys? They made one of the best songs ever with Oh Sheila. I challenge you, put on Oh Sheila. When you leave here, go listen to Oh Sheila. And tell me you're not grooving to that song. Oh my God. So that happens, right? Then they drop their debut album. Man, that debut album, when people list like favorite albums of the 80s, R&B albums, I think they get lost. That debut album was fantastic. The second single that came off that album was Digital Display. Digital Display, because it had that computer sounding stuff. And someone's like, dun, 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 dun. So Melvin this time was in an English accent, But he said something real cool, man. He said, I never knew a girl before, dun, 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 with much of a figure. Dun, 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 dun. So excuse me if I got to play with your digital display. Digital display. And still got that. Oh! Digital display. Listen, Oh Sheila's Oh Sheila. That's untouchable, right? But digital display was a fine follow-up to that. And my favorite, one of my other favorite tracks off that debut album was I'm the One That Loves You. Because it does that background. It has that background. It's like they remixed the background. Prince was doing that. You know, Jimi Hendrix was one of the first guys who did it. Are You Experienced when I think he was the first dude that did that background, that sound. But they did, man, I'm the Love That Loves You is just a fantastic, because it really feels like, of all the tracks, even of Oh Sheila, I'm the One That Loves You sounds like a track that Prince would have done. It sounds like a Prince that Prince would have done, like on a B-side or a deep cut. But man, the thing about Ready for the World and Melvin, they really wasn't, even though they sounded like they were from Minneapolis, they had their own thing. And they were a band. They were just a band. They were a self-contained band. The thing that I wish the TikTok generation would have, I would say millennials and Gen Zers, you guys, I wish you guys had bands on the chart. Because the other genres of music, if I'm a young country artist, I still see guys playing drums, guitar, a fiddle, females too. Like over country music, they still got bands. They still got people playing instruments. Rock and roll isn't as big as it was, but if I'm a young kid that's into rock and roll, I'm looking over here and I'm still playing people playing drums and guitar and a bass. I'm still seeing that over there. For some godforsaken reason, when it comes to R&B music, for our music, R&B executives, these record companies will not invest in R&B bands. I don't understand. Why can country keep their instruments? Why do rock and roll still keep their instruments? But when it comes to R&B, it's like, oh no, it costs too much. Like, what do you mean it costs too much? What is it about a band? What is it about an R&B band? Well, it's too many members. Country doesn't seem to have you seen a country? You know how many people in country bands today? It's sickening. If you're an R&B person, you play in the band, put your name below, put your TikTok or YouTube channel, let us know. The beautiful thing about TikTok is that you still see R&B bands. You still see people playing R&B music, playing instruments. It's a beautiful thing. They're playing cellos, they're playing xylophones, they're playing bass guitar. It's beautiful when I see a young lady playing bass guitar. Shout out to her. Sure, her, Alicia Keys, like they still made it cool for young ladies to play instruments. So, man, I don't know why this doesn't happen. So yeah, so Ready for the World, and then they had the second album. They have Love You Down, the ultimate prom song. Hey, what slow? Hey, I'm an old guy, right? I'm Unc at this point. At last year's prom, like what slow songs do they have? Because I don't hear very loving songs anymore from this era. Because we had Love You Down. There was Always by Atlantic Starr. Like we had Secret Lovers back then. Like what beautiful love songs did you guys have at y'all's prom back in in 2024? Let me know, because I have no idea. Because when I hear the radio, I don't hear like love songs. I hear people want to get it on, but okay. So tell me about your prom songs. But yeah, Ready for the World was great, but their downfall was New Jack Swing. New Jack Swing, Teddy Riley and New Jack Swing, when he brought that sound in, it took out everybody, except for if you're a Prince or Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. If you just like Full Force or some of these other acts, even though Full Force did okay, it took them out. Like Tony would pop up in 88, so they were able to merge R&B and hip hop. But man, it took out Ready for the World, like, and it was unfortunate. But New Jack Swing was a monster. Y'all have no clue. It took out so many bands. It's like a lot of artists that was out in the beginning 80s and the mid 80s. If you weren't Prince, Michael, Whitney, you was taken out. Like Gerald Levert, they figured it out. Like if you didn't figure out how to merge hip hop and R&B, you were taken out. And unfortunately, Ready for the World didn't figure that out. But we still got Oh Sheila. So do me a favor. If you haven't listened to Ready for the World in a while, you never listened to them at all, check out that debut album. Check out the second album. Love You Down, Oh Sheila, Digital Display. I'm the One That Loves You. Shout out to Flint. If the water's still bad out there, we're praying for you. So let us know. Shout out to Ready for the World. What's good for the goose is always good for the gander. Oh Sheila. Dip.